Hey everybody, Joe Lowry, what a day. Happy Thursday, thirsty Thursday out there. The weekend is almost here. Fall is just a mere hours away. Well, today is September 21st. Today is National New York Day and National Pecan Day. Or how do you say it, pecan or pecan? Anyways, I was also informed it's actually International Day of Peace as well. So how about that? Well, it looks like the boys of summer will end up playing some fall ball after all. That's right, the Red Sox swept the Baltimore Orioles last night by the score of 9-0. Chris Sale notched his 17th win of the year. He also struck out 13 batters. And for the first time in 18 years, an American League pitcher has 300 or more strikeouts in a season. Good job, Chris Sale. That's what we got him for. The strikeout king. And combined with that win and the LA Angels loss last night, the Red Sox clinched their playoff berth for the second year in a row. That's right. So they will be playing some interleague ball this weekend as they head over to Cincinnati to take on the Reds. Rick Porcello gets a start tomorrow night. And the Red Sox still lead the AL East by 3 games over the New York Yankees. Well, the images coming out of Puerto Rico are just horrifying to say the least, with Hurricane Maria finally moving out of the area. The Category 4 storm pummeled the island for almost the entire day yesterday, wiping out buildings, towers, homes. And now the entire island, the entire island is without power. This is sad. But Maria's wrath was far from ending in Puerto Rico. Dozens of families were rescued from flooding just this morning in Levittown, near the capital of San Juan. The Puerto Rican National Guard was still searching for others in need of rescue, but the task has been hampered basically because the entire island, 3.4 million people, are without power. This is crazy. And they're saying it's going to be several months before Puerto Rico has power. This is crazy. They're not going to have electricity for months. Obviously, the hurricane has devastated, completely wiped out the island. Hurricane Maria is expected to strengthen and head towards the Dominican Republic, so thoughts and prayers out there as well. Anyways, meanwhile, Mexico, 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit yesterday. Dozens of buildings in central Mexico, just now dust and debris, killing over 250 people. The big story today coming out there is our rescuers are getting closer to pinpointing the exact location of a 12-year-old girl trapped beneath the debris and the rubble and the collapsed elementary school. The crowds are staying quiet to allow rescue workers to hear any voices that be coming from under the debris, but the sound of that metal and concrete clanking is just nearing silence. It's unbelievable there. The elementary school is one of 16 schools in Mexico City to suffer serious damage during the 7.1 magnitude earthquake. The tremor caused part of the elementary school to fold in half, sandwiching and collapsing classroom onto classroom. This is horrific. Another troublesome ordeal is the safety of all the other buildings now. Most of the buildings affected by the quake are slanted or about to crumble, which makes anything going near them, even being around them, unsafe. No doubt Mexico enduring a tough situation this time right now. Again, thoughts and prayers to go out to all those affected. Moving on now, Norway's giant pension fund is now worth, get this, over $1 trillion. No joke, folks. That's a yes, followed by 1, followed by 12 zeros. The fund's manager announced today that the currency shifts have helped push its value above the $1 trillion mark for the first time. The growth in the fund's market value has been stunning, said fund chief Yvang Slingstad. He said this statement saying, I don't think anyone expected the fund to reach $1 trillion when the first transfer of oil revenue was made back in May of 1996. For comparison, folks, $1 trillion is roughly the size of Mexico's economy. That's interesting. Norway is a major oil producer and has plowed energy earnings into the fourth quarter to fund pensions and other government expenses. Now get this, the fund is among the world's biggest investors in stocks, owning $667 billion worth of shares in over 9,000 companies globally. And also this one, it owns an average of 1.3% of all the companies worldwide. That's right. This has money written all over it, I'm telling you. Well, over on NBC last night, the crowning of America's Got Talent took place, and it was a battle of the preteens as Darcy Lynn Farmer, a 12-year-old singer ventriloquist, won season 12 over singer Angelica Hale, who's just 10 years old. Farmer probably burst into tears as she held up her puppet there, Petunia. The Oklahoma City youngster won the $1 million prize and now be headlining a show in Vegas. I still say, though, Puddles should have won. You can check out Puddles' Pity Party on YouTube. Well, undefeated lightweight heavyweight champion Andre Ward announced his retirement from boxing today at the age of 33. He also released a statement on his official website saying no longer does he have the desire to continue to fighting. The San Francisco native owns a professional career of 32-0 with 60 wins by way of knockout. His most recent bout was in June as he defeated Sergey Kovalev by technical knockout in the 8th round to retain the WBA, IBF, and WBO light heavyweight titles. The Ring Light Heavyweight title, Ward is also a former champion in the super middleweight division, and the Ring magazine currently ranks him as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. In 2011, Ward was named Fighter of the Year by both Ring magazine and the Boxing Writers Association of America. Ward is also a 2004 Olympic gold medalist. Well, good luck to him. Well, actress Kate Walsh, who starred on ABC's hit show Grey's Anatomy in private practice as Dr. Addison Montgomery, Well, she recently revealed she had a brain tumor removed back in 2015. Yeah, this is stunning. The actress, who says the tumor began slurring her speech, and more often than not, she was unable to complete her own sentences, and she always said she felt weak on one side. The sizable mass, which required surgery, was removed and taken out. It turned out to be benign, thank God. But after taking 9 months off from acting, she returned to star in Netflix's smash hit 13 Reasons Why in the movie's Girls Trip. While she was in recovery mode now, is speaking out and urging women to get checked out annually to avoid the ordeal that she went through. God bless her. Well, get this one, folks. There's some serious talk in legislation right now to move Massachusetts, as well as all of New England itself, out of the Eastern time zone. That's right. They want to remove, what does this mean, you say? It means we could be no more daylight savings time. It'll be daylight savings time all year round. The committee for this study has already been formed, although it may be years away from being adopted. It could be a long haul before this thing even gets approved. There are many, many factors to consider. The panel studying whether Massachusetts should switch to Atlantic Standard Time concluded in a draft report that the advantages could outweigh the disadvantages. Namely, the annual disruption of March when clocks spring forward 1 hour to daylight savings time would be eliminated, and sunlight would last until the late day during the winter. But also there are big caveats, that's right. Other states would need to be on board, first of all. Starting times for schools will be pushed back to avoid forcing students to commute in the dark. And if the commission adopts a recommendation, it would then be endorsed by the legislature as well as the Department of Transportation. That's right. The report cites several potential benefits using the Atlantic Standard Time, including retailers getting a boost in sales if more people shop, eat out, because there's more light later in the day. That's kind of interesting. And the change may make state more attractive to out-of-state professionals by softening that sometimes depressing Massachusetts winters. We know how that can get. And extending that year-round could increase productivity, curb on-the-job injuries, as well as traffic fatalities. It also may spur more physical activity, as people may stay outside longer during the winter, as well as reduce street crime. Electricity consumption and greenhouse gas emissions may also decline because the peak demand for power often occurs in late afternoon. There are significant downsides, however. They include potential confusion for interstate travelers, a mismatch for TV broadcasters that rely on New York time, and the more darkness for children as they go to school in the morning. Well, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think? Should we change this? Or should we move forward with Atlantic Standard Time? Finally, quick shout out to Whatta subscriber Mike Lyons. He's down there in Florida helping everybody out there. Him and his Clean Joe team are down there. If you can check out Mike Lyons' Facebook page, he's got stunning pictures of absolute craziness going on down there. Let's not forget the hurricanes that ravage Houston as well as Miami and so forth are just horrific. But Mike's down there doing a good job. Quick shout out to Mike Lyons. And finally, YouTube, can't say it more than enough. Visit my page, www.youtube.com/Joe Lowry. What a day. It's free. It's free. It's free. I say that all the time. Enjoy your Thirsty Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. The weekend, you can taste it. Happy fall, everybody. What a day.